Out of all the reasons in the world, what would you say is the number one reason why people fail?
Lack of brains, lack of effort.
I'm going to give you Mark Cuban rule number 1. And whenever you forget this rule, you're already out of business.
And if there's going to be competition, that means somebody else knows your business as well as you do when you get started. And if you walk into a competitive environment and they still know more about the business than you do and more about your customers, you're going to lose. But most people don't consider that. They don't do the work. They don't learn more about their industry. They don't know even about their business. And so you've got to put in the effort to know more about your industry than anybody else. And that's the brains part, and that's the effort part as well. Because look, if you're competing with me, you better know what you're doing, otherwise I'm going to kick your ass, and you're not going to outwork me. And so, the combination is usually what kills businesses early on more than anything.
In every business, sales cures all. Has anybody ever heard of a business that had 0 sales that was successful? Doesn't happen. Yet, a lot of people start their business thinking, I have a great idea. I'm going to do this. This is amazing. I'm going to go raise money. I just sold this idea. And then it comes back and it's like, okay, you got to sell that product or you got to sell that service. That's the first and main key to a successful business. When you're getting ready to start, you have to answer that question. It's not about how much money you can possibly raise. The one commonality that I see on companies that have failed, they think that raising money was an accomplishment. Raising money is not an accomplishment, it's an obligation. Right? My first company that I started, I was living 6 guys in a 3-bedroom apartment eating mustard and ketchup sandwiches. No lie, I slept on the floor, had 1 towel. And then, things got better and I grew it from there. But learning how to work from nothing when you start your business is a quality that really helps you. And so I always say sweat equity is the best equity there is. And I would tell you, whatever you have to do to save a little bit of money or to put yourself in a position to not have to raise money, that's always a positive.
I knew I was wired to be excited about business. How or why, I don't know. But, and there's certain guys that have the genetics to jump out of the gym, right? There's certain guys, that, when they golf, they have the muscle memory and the discipline. Dirk Nowitzki may not be the most talented guy in the NBA, but his discipline and his focus to do what's necessary to be successful, he's willing to do, and combine it with being 7 feet tall and being skilled makes him an amazing basketball player. So it's understanding what your skill set is, finding the right place to use those skills, and then going for it. Will that make you 250 grand? It depends if you pick the right industry. But whatever industry you pick, if you outwork everybody, if you try to be a little smarter than everybody, if you try to be a better salesperson than everybody, if you try to be better prepared than everybody, you've got your best chance. Because if you don't do it and somebody else does, I have the saying, work like someone's trying to take it all away from you. I think 1, you have to realize the idea is the least important part, right? Ideas are easy, everybody's got them. Number 2, it's a grind. You gotta grind. Number 3, if you don't know your product, service, or industry better than everybody else, whoever does is going to kick you. Number 4, you always have to say, if I were competing with me, how would I kick my ass, right? And number 5, hire people smarter than you. There's no shortcuts. That's the number 1 rule. There are no shortcuts. You got to grind. Grind. I don't care if you're me, you, startup, you got to grind because there's someone else. It's not like, look at all the people around you. They all want that same customer. They all want that same money. They all want it. You think, they're trying to take it away from you like, everybody's trying to kick everybody's, and that's the way it works.
Most people do a lot of talking and most people don't put in the effort. There's nothing you can't accomplish in life with the right amount of work. The challenge is, are you willing to do the work? And the reality is most people aren't, but that's the opportunity, right? It's like people at school. Most people are lazy, right? They barely get through it, and so that creates opportunity. And if you're willing to outwork people, outthink people, invest time, and then the next question is, what did I do? What can you do to learn? Yep. And the key is, right, read, right? You can read my book. There's books by entrepreneurs. There's books about business. The more you can learn about business, the better the opportunity, the better the advantages you're going to create for yourself. There's no secret sauce, there's no shortcuts. You know, getting a mentor isn't going to all of a sudden just propel you to the top. You know, you've got to figure things out for yourself, and the younger you start, the better the advantages you'll have.
Whatever business you have, there's somebody trying to put you out of business. There's somebody trying to take a bite out of your business, and it's better for you to figure out how they're going to do it rather than they do it. And so, yeah, that's being paranoid. And so you have to be paranoid. You have to anticipate other people's next moves, and you can't ever, downplay the competition. They're out there trying to take you down, and they're not just going to sit still. And if you're good, really, really good, you're going to inspire them to work even harder, faster, better. And so you have to be, very self-aware of what you're good at and what other people are good at. And, a healthy dose of paranoia makes a big difference, is very helpful. The thing I learned at Indiana that was more important than anything else, I learned how to learn. And learning became far more important to me, because the one certainty in business is that it's always going to be changing. If you're not always learning, to this minute, if I'm not continuously learning, if I'm not just absorbing as much as I can absorb, someone else is going to kick, right? So you talk about paranoia. The greatest source of your paranoia should be knowledge. If someone else knows more than you do, and if you're not learning, if you don't know how to learn, if you don't have a thirst for learning and acquiring information, you're SOL.
So how do you describe yourself, Mark?
I describe myself as a grinder.